The most powerful sultan of the Ottoman Empire was playing chess in his enemy's tent, as a prisoner. Timur laughed. Bayezid asked, "Does such a laugh befit a sovereign?" Timur's response went down in history. "I am not laughing at you. I am laughing at Allah, who left this world to a blind man and a cripple." But how did it come to this point? Let's go back. The Battle of Ankara, 1402. Two giant powers faced one another, and this was not just a clash of two armies, but a collision of two worlds. On one side, Bayezid the Thunderbolt, the Ottoman Sultan who crushed the Crusaders in a single blow at Nicopolis. On the other side, Emir Timur, the last great master of the steppe, who conquered everywhere from India to the gates of Moscow. Today on the Chubuk plain of Ankara, only one thing would be determined. Who will be the master of the world? But this war did not begin on the field. It began much earlier, in the lines drawn by pens. And those lines could be sharp enough to bring anyone to their knees. Before the war, swords were drawn with pens. The correspondence between the two rulers was one of the harshest diplomatic sparring matches in history. Timur's demand was clear: hand over Ahmad Jalayir and Kara Yusuf, who had taken refuge with you. Bayezid refused, and harshly so. In his letters, he addressed Timur as an old dog. He openly belittled him. Timur's response came in a different language. "You are an ant. Do not fight against elephants." Bayezid went even further. According to sources, he targeted Timur's honor, his lineage, and even his mother. This was no longer diplomacy. This was a war declared by two egos upon one another. And this crisis had now made war inevitable. The fate of the battle was actually determined by maneuvers made before the two armies ever met. Timur was a brilliant strategic genius. Instead of meeting the Ottomans head-on, he chose to exhaust them in the heat of Anatolia. Circling through Kayseri and Kırşehir, he besieged Ankara. While Bayezid expected Timur to arrive from the direction of Tokat, he suddenly received the news: Timur was at the gates of Ankara. The Ottoman army was forced to reach Ankara through a grueling march, exhausted, thirsty. Timur, meanwhile, had positioned his army on the wide plains of Chubuk. He had taken control of the water sources. Rested, ready, he was waiting. Bayezid was inside the trap, but he didn't know it yet. July 28, 1402. Morning. Two armies stand face to face. The Ottoman army consisted of approximately 70,000 to 90,000 soldiers. In the center were Bayezid and the Janissaries. On the right, the Serbian heavy cavalry, led by Stefan Lazarevic. On the left were the Rumelian units, and among them, the Anatolian soldiers, whose reliability was questionable. Timur's army, however, was 130,000 to 160,000 people strong, much larger, much more rested. And at the front of the army, 32 war elephants brought from India were lined up. Naphtha would be launched from the structures atop them. The Ottoman soldier had never encountered such a thing. The psychological pressure was felt even before the battle began. The battle started, and it started well for the Ottomans. On the right flank, the Serbian heavy cavalry under the command of Stefan Lazarevic applied incredible pressure. They practically tore through Timur's left flank. The line faltered. Bayezid was at the front lines. He was fighting like a thunderbolt, living up to his title. Then everything changed in an instant. The Black Tatars located on the Ottoman left flank switched sides. At the most critical moment of the war, they went over to Timur's side, and when they turned back, they attacked their own former units from behind. Immediately after, seeing the former Anatolian beys standing beside Timur, the Anatolian units within the Ottoman ranks also turned. They lowered their flags. They ran to their beys. The Ottoman army suddenly began to dissolve from two sides. This was one of the greatest betrayals recorded by history. Yet Bayezid did not retreat. He withdrew to the ridges of Çataltepe with the 3,000 to 10,000 strong Janissary unit beside him. And he resisted there until evening. The Janissaries fought until their last breath. They did not take a single step back. Stefan Lazarevic and the Serbian cavalry could have escaped, but they chose to stay by Bayezid's side. This loyalty went down in history, but the siege tightened, the circle closed. Bayezid's horse stumbled. And Bayezid the Thunderbolt was taken prisoner. And we come to that famous scene. Timur greeted Bayezid in his tent while playing chess. Timur laughed. Bayezid could not bear this to his pride. "Does such a laugh befit a sovereign?" he said. Timur's response went down in history. "I am not laughing at you. I am laughing at Allah for leaving this world to a blind man like you and a cripple like me." Bayezid could not endure this captivity. He passed away in less than a year. Timur, meanwhile, set out on a campaign to China. He lost his life in the middle of the campaign in 1405. Two great conquerors vanished from history almost at the same time. The Battle of Ankara plunged the Ottomans into a chaos that would last 11 years. History calls this the Interregnum. Bayezid's sons slaughtered one another for the throne. The state reached the point of disintegration. But the foundations of the Ottoman Empire were solid. In 1413, Mehmed Çelebi eliminated his brothers and seized the throne. The state was rebuilt. Only 40 years after Ankara, the Ottomans would reach the pinnacle of their history. What did the Battle of Ankara leave us? The greatest lesson is how betrayal can destroy an army from within. Bayezid's greatest mistake was not on the battlefield, but in his inability to read the hearts of the people he trusted. And Timur won everything, but he made nothing permanent. The Ottomans lost everything, but they were reborn by arriving at the gates of Constantinople in 1453. This struggle between two great Turkish monarchs remains as one of the most tragic and instructive pages of history.